Hello! Okay, so this video is just going to be my take on Voruna, the newest Warframe you get from the new Lua missions. I've noticed that he's kind of useless but kind of not. So, her first ability, Shroud of Danar. It's more for like sneaking around. Not really much goes on with that. You could probably use it for spy missions or um like if you want to do vault runs and you don't like Neja. Um maybe you can also use it for like what it shows there. Because when you don't have any negative mods, it really doesn't take up a lot of drain. It does increase your crit, but I mean, even with Intensify on, it doesn't increase status chance, it doesn't do anything special like that. Now, Offensive Rocks, that's the one I really like. Because if you look at the hold, Rocks guards Voruna with status effect resistance. So it's great for Corpus, great for Grenier, it's great for Infested, good for pretty much anything. And the tap ability, 5 random status effects at 10 secs each. So that's 50 status procs on one enemy every second. And on target death, spread the status effect to nearby enemies. The spread only starts at 6 meters. I got it up to 10 with what little mods I have. I just have this. I didn't want to use which one is it? Narrow-minded? No. Overextended. I didn't want to risk losing ranks with overextended because I like having it over 200. But if I stick it here, ranks at 191, range is at 235, and that boosts distance to only 16.45. It's not too much of a gain, but I found it very, very useful for survival missions because the hunt lasts for a good 20 seconds. And what it does is melee kills give you health, headshots give you energy. So you can use this, you can use the fangs on an enemy, get it spreading after using hunt. And then my melee weapon is the Zorus, which is a throwing melee. It's like the Orbeus, but it's easier to get. You don't have to farm very much for it. And it does really, really large blast radius. And it also applies a lot of status. So you multiply that with the fangs, and it just slaughters everything in sight. As for Wolfrune's Descent, not really a fan of that. Because sure, it lets you go a long distance and it does a lot of damage. But you only get 5 shots with it, uses a lot of energy, and if you happen to not insta-kill the first enemy you hit, then you're not going to be able to max out the damage. Because as you're pouncing around, it'll show in the middle of the screen 5 slashes under your aim, your little crosshair. So if you have all 5 and your first one kills an enemy, it'll show an X3, showing you have a triple modifier, triple combo. And then that'll let you kill more. So the strategy with this one seems to be when it kills something small, and then something slightly bigger, then slightly something bigger, and then attack what you want to attack. I just, personally, it's not my playstyle. I don't like it. To each their own. As you've seen, my 2 main Warframes are Serenanitis. I play them more than anything. I even have the Archon shards on them. What few shards I have. I just love nuking everything. With Voruna, you seem to be able to nuke. She's not very good at nuking in defense. But I imagine you'd be able to get very, very far in a solo survival because, again, this third ability, like as Hunt, gives you health orbs upon melee kills. And I know people in this game love to spam that melee button. So you can just do that, spam melee, get all your health back. I do have armor on her because she starts pretty low. I got Prime Flow, so she's got more energy. Got the range mods. Got the best strength mods. Yes, they're not full. I don't care. I'm working on it. And of course, armor, health, you know, survivability. So the Hunt really increases your survivability. Make it to where if you have the right mods, you don't have to have somebody else with you on a survival. And then this just, it starts off a little bit slow and then it just ramps up in effectivity. Because it's like Saren. You hit one person with the spores, pop the spores, they spread everybody else, and then they just exponentially start increasing. And then they just all die. You don't even have to use miasma if you don't want to. So, that's my take. Don't know if it's going to help anybody. I chose to use Physique for my aura instead of EMP aura or toxin resistance. That's just personal preference. They all 3 go up to the same. I was thinking about putting a Forma in her, see how high I can go. But I'd like to put Steel Charge on her, get even more energy capacity, plus more energy capacity out of Forma. That'll give me an extra 4, and then an extra whatever I do. Probably this one, because I don't have any Umbra. Umbral Forma. I do recommend Arcane Energize if you have it. Because again, this specific build does use a lot of energy. You can see the energy is down to 55. But It's whatever you want to do. This is just my personal insight on the new Warframe. You want to suggest something else I can do with her? Maybe make her a little bit more playable for my personal playstyle? You can go ahead and recommend it. You can put it on my Tumblr, on my Twitter. I can leave it down in the comment section. I will leave a link in the description on a whatchamacallit, a strategy guide to get Voruna. What I found easiest after you do the quest is me and one friend, we were doing Uvarium and we weren't getting very good results on getting her parts. So we went to Circulus and she used her 6-4 Chroma and I used my Nidus. And we both also have Necromex. In these two particular missions, you're allowed to use the Necromech for 2 minutes, and you can only spawn it once every 10 minutes. So you really want to have 2 people if you want to do Circulus, because unlike Uvarium, when the Thrax spawn, you have to kill the shell and then go into your Tenno and then kill the Void Spectre. On Uvarium, you can just kill the shell and then the Thrax is gone. But once we had all but one part left, we just had our systems left to get. We did 5 runs of this, didn't get it, and we did 1 run of Uvarium, got it instantly. I really recommend that. Once you have 1 part left, go to Uvarium, and hopefully you'll get the last part, because there seems to be some sort of desire sensor that they've added into the game. I don't know when they did that, but back in the early days it wasn't like that. But I've noticed it now, especially with these new frames. It's probably the reason I still haven't gotten Nidus Prime's blueprint. I went through like 60 of those relics and didn't get a single blueprint for him or his prime. But anyway, I do recommend having 1 other person at least. If you need to farm the Luathrax Plasm, the key there is that it spawns 2 Luathrax per person there, and it does it once every 5 minutes. But the 5-minute mark, it'll spawn 2 per person. 10-minute mark, it'll again spawn 2 per person. And the best pattern for getting her parts is that if you go 30 minutes, that gives you the maximum probability of getting her parts. And by the time we were done farming her, we had enough Luathrax Plasm to go ahead and build her. And we did it all in one night. We did like I want to say 10 runs. I can't remember how long we were doing it. It was at least a couple hours, but we got it fairly quickly by doing that. But the great thing about Chroma is that you start taking damage on your health, and his abilities allow you to build up stacks of buffs. And even though she has it to where the buff radius is only 6 meters, you can just stand next to me while I'm Nidus. I can just keep stomping away, stomping away, stomping away. and we were able to find rooms where you easily funnel all the enemies into a hallway on either side. I just kept stomping and stomping and stomping, put down my grass, keep us both healed and slow them down a little bit because it gets to level 100 after 5 rounds. So if you don't have the mods for that, I don't recommend it. So just stomp, 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 stomp. Then the Thrax spawn. One of you brings out the Necromech and just blasts them. The other one pops out as the Tenno. Pow, 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 pow. And then when the next set spawns, you flip. The other one spawns their Necromech. And then you go into your Tenno and pow, 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 pow. Just like that. That's really pretty much everything I've found out about this. Again, any suggestions, let me know. And this is just my interpretation, you know? If you have any suggestions, let me know. Any questions, also let me know. And again, I'll leave the link to her quest and the spawn tables down in the description. Thanks for watching.